Good morning. So yesterday my yarn came in to start my pretty in pink sweater. I am so very excited. It came out so perfectly, as you saw. And today you get to see my beautiful office/closet. No, not really, but I thought I'd pop on to tell you what I'm doing now. I am trying to get my pattern printed, and then I'm going to wind up some of the yarn so that I can go ahead and start swatching and get started. So yeah, sometimes I have to swatch on the go, or swatch. Yeah, I'm gonna swatch on the go here in a second, but sometimes I have to wind on the go. It's kind of nice though. I really prefer my yarn in balls anyways. I didn't bring my yarn ball with me, so I'll grab that later before I head out when I get back home. I was gonna say the next thing that I do, which I did when I went and had lunch, because I'm at a table and it was just really easy to do while I waited for my food. Luckily, my husband is pretty patient with me taking my projects with me everywhere, because I do consider this a job. Anyway, the next thing I do is I go through the pattern and highlight my size everywhere. Stephanie does like a really cool thing where she has the pattern uploaded on like a Google Drive, and so if there are any updates done in math or anything weird that we discuss in the group chat, she places it in there so it's like instant, so she doesn't have to answer the questions all the time. So if I come up with an issue in my printout, then I will reference that. But I do try at the beginning also, because I'm getting my pattern printed a couple days later after our group has already started. I do try and start off fresh, so I have looked over to make sure that everything matches as well, and then I've also gone through just to read it first and see if anything jumps out at me. So I have my little red pen. These pens are awesome, suggested by Woods and Wool, Melissa Fisher. These are erasable. They pop open like that, and then this top is the eraser, and it's pretty solid. It's called the Friction Ball Clicker Erasable Pilot. It's really awesome, actually. I have a blue one and a black one too, but I print my patterns in all black and white, and then just to save on ink, and then I use a red pen and just mark on there, and it helps me easily when I go back to write notes, and I have it all in one place. It's easy to keep up with. So yeah, I've already gotten everything all highlighted. Oh, the highlighter I use too is like one of those hard highlighters. Ooh, one-handed is kind of hard. See it, let me wind the other way. Look at that, that's a highlighter. It's like highlighter gel. It's cool, I like it. It lasts a very long time too. I don't know if they have these at stores. I got this at when my stepson first started college at Tarleton University. So it kind of says Tarleton, but it's a little rubbed off. Although I'm sure it gets washed out by the awesome sun that's coming out today. Anyways, I'll pop back on when I have my swatch. Alright, I am really losing light, so this might not give accurate coloring, but it is a nice golden color, and you guys have already gotten to see it. And I do have a background noise at the racetrack, but I wanted to share the content here. This is the Feisty Fibers Vroom Vroom on Rockin' Sock Space.
it's fabulous work. This is the part that you're probably not going to be able to notice that I'm talking about as far as color goes. Yeah, you get a little bit of it. So I do not really alternate skeins, even though many suggest to do that when it comes to hand-dyed yarn. But pulling does not bother me. See, I enjoy that. That does not bother me. I love the uniqueness of the colorways that are made. So however it comes out is however it comes out. But this is the swatch. I finished it, so I wanted to show y'all what it would look like. I don't know if I could do it one-handed. I was gonna try and count the stitches. Okay, it's gotten even darker, but obviously I couldn't attack that with that hand. I accidentally turned my phone off. Also, I'm using this tape measure. It's a bottle opener and has a light. Got this from DFW Fiber Fest, which is totally awesome. And normally at home I have like a square tape measure, but like to do gauges, I say square tape measure, like a little square gauge swatch measure thing, but this is better to travel with. So I'll show you all the pictures on whether I hit gauge or not. The gauge swatch is pretty much public knowledge, so it's not like a big deal, but it was supposed to be 19 stitches by 20 stitches by 20 rows. And so that would mean obviously the stitches are this way horizontal and the rows are vertical, and I am one off on stitches and one off on rows, but it'll be fine. That will block out. So today has pretty much been a bust on getting to start the project yet. Starting my shower. I pretty much spent the day getting ready, preparing to get this sweater going. And I know earlier I said that I was one stitch off, but I went back to look at the pattern again, and in fact I was like 3 or 4 stitches off, and that adds up. So I tried a few other hooks, and I'm down to like a 2.25 right now, and I'm really not thrilled about possibly having to use a 1mm hook with this yarn. It's fingering weight yarn. That's really going to make the project that much more time consuming, but I might have to. I'm going to sleep on this and we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Hopefully I can actually start on the sweater tomorrow. Okay, so I tried checking the last gauge that I did last night with a different tape measure, just to make sure like that tape measure is accurate and I'm reading it right, and it is. So after all the madness of doing like 3 or 4 swatches, I still am at 20 stitches. I didn't even bother finishing the rest. Like I need to go to 22 rows, but I don't think I even want to know, because the stitches are really important. I think more important than the rows to me, because I want the fit to be right. And also because I'm testing, so it has to be right. So I grabbed more tiny hooks. This is a 2.0, a 1.25, a 1.5, and a 1mm. I am bound to get 22 stitches by 22 rows. I also keep on forgetting to tell y'all, this is kind of a different looking swatch, isn't it, than most are probably used to. When you're making like a sweater that works in the round, or when you're making anything that works in the round, Usually you want to go ahead and make your swatch in the round, because the whole purpose of swatching is to know how like your tension is going to be when you're making the item, and so you can replicate the same thing all around. And if you're doing it flat, but if you're doing your swatch flat and then you make the project in the round, that's not going to be accurate. So I'm extra perturbed about this situation because I'm having to do it in the round, which means triple the amount of stitches to check my gauge in the first place. So having to do this over and over and over again is really not fun when I just want to make the sweater already. In the scheme of things, it will be all right, and it will be well worth it, because it's better to get this out of the way now than to have made a whole sweater and it doesn't fit.
Y'all, pretty much another entire day went by till I could reach my gauge. Look how pretty this is. That stitch pattern looks perfect, doesn't it? Sometimes going down hook sizes really makes the garment that much prettier. It's like 6 o'clock right now though, and I'm just now getting to get started on this sweater. Look at all the hooks that I used. Oh shoot, I had it collected here, okay. These were all the hooks that I had gauged with. Aren't they all so different? And this is the hook that worked. 2 millimeter. I'm okay with it. I'm excited that I finally get to start the sweater. Oh, I love this. I don't always keep my swatches, so I'll probably frog this and just start my sweater from right here. But I just wanted to show y'all before I frogged it what it looked like, and what my a hint of what my sweater is gonna be like this on my neck right here, minus the sleeve part. Just picture that. Ended up doing one more swatch with a 1.5 millimeter to get my 22 stitches. And now I'm on the rhythm with the yoke. But I'm gonna call it a night. These are the sleeves, and this is like the front and back. It's pretty neat. It's fun because the sleeves are done with a larger hook size.
I am so thrilled to be moving along so well on this pretty and pink sweater. Finally. I forgot to mention that last night I was struggling with some math issues. Those are things that you kind of run into when testing. So I chatted about it in the group chat, and we got that corrected, and that's how I got to cranking last night. This morning I woke up and I am still in what I slept in, and I still haven't brushed my teeth. It's like late afternoon. I still haven't ate or drank anything. Like, I am just consumed with this project. I'm having such a good time. I am already like into round 10 of the yoke and completed the first page of the pattern. So this is really cool. But I wanted to show you because there is no slip stitching, which is great, so you don't have like a seam. That's obvious. So I wanted to show y'all like how I do that part, because tension can kind of be important when you're not slip stitching, I guess. So when you go on to make this project, just be cautious and aware that you're not pulling too tight to
defeat the purpose of the extra chain there, and that you are not leaving too much slack in the middle of while you're making the single crochet. I have spent all day working on this amazingness, and it's been pretty smooth sailing, you know, since my swatching fiasco and the first round of this math. There was one more mishap, but it wasn't like difficult for me to realize. And now I'm on the final yoke row, and I'm just so excited. I guess I wasn't paying attention. I just frogged this little bit here when I got to the end here, because I just realized I messed that cluster up. It should be like flipped. So because I'm being a perfectionist, I'm gonna rip all the way back to that. It'll be okay. I also wanted to share one more tip. I don't always use stitch markers, and I tend to read my work a lot. I don't know if that's just because I've been crocheting since like 2003 or four, and so I don't know, I'm familiar with the way stitches look now, so I just would rather not have stitch markers in the way, especially when I'm taking pictures. But you can easily count on here what round you are on by looking at the clusters in the sleeves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I just completed round 15. All right, the best thing about crochet sweaters is that you can easily try it on without worrying about any drop stitches. And I have gone through my first hank, and I'm on the body. Look at that. I got an armpit and an armpit. This is amazing. Look how beautiful that is. It does feel like a little bit snug right here. I mean, not uncomfortable. I actually like it to feel snug, but I know when I block it, it's gonna loosen those stitches up. I mean, this is perfection. Stephanie is so fantastic at math. I'm in awe of her. And look at this colorway. Isn't this pulling so beautiful? It's a nice goldenness, kind of neutral with the bronze. Like, I love the brown in there too. I might wear this to DFW Fiberfest since it's only in a couple months. I am making progress on sleeve 1, but the hubs is on his way back home, so I will get as far as I can by the time he gets here, and then it will be bedtime, seeing as how it's about 12:30 a.m. and I've been at this all day. What a lovely day it's been. There is nothing like getting up and getting straight back into the project. I am gonna have a sleeve today. Shoot, I'll probably have 2 sleeves today. Okay, so I have gotten to the part where the sleeve starts to bell out, so I thought I'd try it on. Look at that! Oh my. Yes. Y'all, Are you ready for this? Are you ready? I have a freaking sleeve. It looks a little weird, you know, having just this kind of part of the body. But this sleeve, I also know that it looks a little short, but understand that when I block it, that all this lace is gonna like open up, so it's going to be exactly perfect where I want it on my wrist. I am very happy. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Now I have to do it all over again for the second sleeve. I am the worst at getting like second syndrome. You know, having to do 2 sleeves, having to do 2 socks, having to do 2 of anything like immediately after each other. I get really excited once I do it once, but I don't want to do it over again. However, I need 2 sleeves. And it will be so cool to have 2 sleeves. 2 bell sleeves. Ooh, yeah. This sweater has got me feeling some type of crazy. Okay. I have 5 more rounds of the sleeve left, but I have ran out of yarn again. So I am about to wind my 3rd hank of yarn. So I'll finish those 5 rounds on the sleeve and then I'll get to the body. And knowing that I have this much yarn left, I might do the full body. I want to use every bit of my feisty fibers. Would you look at that? I have 2 sleeves. Excuse my dirty mirror. Oh my gosh. How cool is that? How cool is that? Now to get to the body. And that's about it. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna definitely probably do the full body. Just cause, I don't know. In case I don't feel like wearing high-waisted with it. I can't work the crop right now anymore. 34 is rough. I didn't really think to mention earlier, but you may wonder why I wind my yarn into balls off the Swift, but I really prefer the balls and with a yarn bowl. This is my Furls yarn bowl. It's got some character, but I also have this nice little pedestal yarn bowl that I absolutely love. Let me show you the other side. There you go. Look how pretty that is. I have some yarn left over from other projects that are sitting in it right now, but I like to keep this on my coffee table so that when I'm lounging in my chair and working on a project, I can work from that. And this is more of my like yarn bowl to go with me while I'm traveling everywhere. Because I hate when I'm like using the ball, maybe even in my purse, and it gets caught up in other things. And then I also like to, you know, set the bowl on a table or in the little cubby in the truck or different places while I'm out. It's way more convenient than it being in the bag. I find that cakes also tend to fall apart and get tangly, as well as skeins, and the ball is just stress-free. Once I wind it, that's it. It's there waiting for me to use it. While I did get the sleeves done and I showed excitement throughout the whole process of that, because I mean that just was exciting, I did have a couple mishaps on there. There was like a wonky stitch count, but we got that corrected and it was a pretty easy fix. And then There were a couple times where I got caught up in the rhythm and I would flip-flop clusters like I did show you once, and I wouldn't put the proper amount of chains, you know, just oopsies that happen. Most projects for me, surely for you. And so I just had to do a little bit of frogging during the process, but overall it's not anything drastic. I have just finished the body and I'm now getting into the shaping part of the body. So the body part is not going to be nearly as quick for me because I'm back to using the small hook. Did I show y'all how tiny the head of that is? I know it's not going to focus at all, especially because I have poor lighting in here. But the body will be well worth it. It will be nice, smooth, drapey fabric because fingering weight is amazing like that. I am getting back to it this morning. I have a few more inches of the waist shaping till I get to the hip shaping. I, like I said, have decided on doing the full size. Stephanie did the crop size, so she's asked that I weigh it before getting to the hip shaping so that she can know the yardage for the crop size. But how thrilling is this? Just took a lunch break. I think I still have like half an inch to go on this body where the waist shaping is. It's upside down, obviously. Does that almost look like 6.5 inches? I'm close. I am on a mission to try to get this body done today. Or really this sweater done, you know, minus blocking. Yeah. Because I am going out of town this weekend and I would prefer not to bring this project and to take others and just be on to the next one. Although I have thoroughly loved this, especially basically binging on this sweater. This is like crochet as a Netflix series. Well, that didn't take long. I have reached my 6.5 inches of my sweater. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna show you a little bit about my scale. And this is like kind of how, I don't know if you've tried this or not or have heard of this, but this is a good way to find out how much yardage you have used or have left from a hank. So let's see, like on the back of this hank, the deets. So she has it in yards and meters and ounces and grams. So it's all covered, but my scale only provides ounces and grams. And I don't have like a, well, this one says choice MMED. Poor lighting, let's see. Ooh, that's washing it out. Is that a little bit better? If you want to see the details. It's just like a little cheap food scale that I got on Amazon. It says a max of 11 pounds. I have never put that much weight on it. I do find that it kind of, it's my coffee maker. Sorry. I do find that the batteries kind of go out quick on this one, so I am interested in getting a newer one. And also, I would like a scale that has like a bowl on it rather than just flat, because then I feel like I can get more of an accurate measurement or weight, because I feel like some of the fabric can hang off. Whereas if I had a bowl, it'd all be in there nice and secure, and I'd be sure to be getting like an accurate weight. So yeah, I'll show you a little bit. Okay, so this one just has like a regular on button. Oh, there we go. I usually put it on the floor because it's the most level, and I make sure that it says 0. And I try and fold the item in such a way that it will all fit onto it. So that's pretty good right there. Let's see here. It can get a little fiddly when it's still attached, but so 296 grams. Let me write that down. And then I change the unit and it says 10.4 ounces. And that's it. So I get to carry on, and I know how much it's gonna weigh just for Stephanie. I'm gonna go ahead and try it on so I can see, because it says that it's supposed to hit me before my hips start to curve out. That's where the waist shaping belongs. So let's see what it looks like. So obviously it's not blocked yet, which is why my sleeves are still shrunk up. Lacework really starts to open up when you wet block it. So I'm looking forward to that. But holla! Stephanie's very good at doing the math so it fits like a glove. And it looks like it's that way for everybody. And look, I love that that's where the seam is gonna be. It's gonna fall on the side, not in the middle of the front, not in the middle of the back, like literally on the side here. And I did notice also that I was getting like a big, like this part right here is kind of a big gap, but it's right by the armpit. This side, yeah, this side is on that side where I attached it. So it has like a big gap, but all of that, like I said, these will probably all match up once it blocks and it won't be noticeable. Not to mention it's right by the armpit. So hey, we'll just consider that an air hole. But yeah, I would say this is falling right where it says, where the curve out starts to happen in your hips. So I'm right on point. I haven't double checked to see if my gauge has been still maintained. Okay, it's not as washed out over here. I'm watching the prodigal son here. It's paused till my husband can come back in. But you can't tell where I joined the second hank, can you? Like the color pulling is not that big of a deal. So not having to deal with yarn management is way better for me than to worry about how the colors will pool. Obviously, Karen dyes the yarn in such a way that I don't have to worry about it anyways. And the goldenness looks very similar. I do think that she probably dyed all these at the same time since I kind of specially ordered it with her. But I know this last hank seemed a little bit darker when I was taking pictures of all of them together. So I have this much left. So I'm not sure if this will take me to the bottom. I might have to do like the scalloped edging with this. We shall see how far this takes me. Fingering weight yarn can be kind of, it can kind of fool you when it's balled up. It might look small here, but since it's such fine weight of yarn, it can actually be quite a bit on here. So, cannot wait to see it. If I was doing the crop one like Stephanie, I could be doing the scalloped edging right now and be able to call it a day, or 3 and say I made a freaking crocheted fingering weight sweater in 3 days. But I'm going all out and I'm using as much feisty fibers as I can, or as I have, and I am making the full version, especially because I don't even think I have high-waisted pants that can cover my whole belly there, and I would really like the coverage. I'm not in the shape that I would really like to be. Not that I'm just not healthy right now, so I feel more comfortable with myself to have the coverage. So I'm supposed to be going tonight to have steak dinner with my husband for Valentine's. That cuts into my crochet time. So I got my tea, iced sweet tea here in Texas from Mama. She makes the best tea too. Anyway, so I'm gonna get to cranking. I have the hip shaping section, 14 inches. It might not happen today. And then the edging is like 2 rounds. So once I get to that point, it'll be good. But 14 inches? I mean, I'm at 6.5. That's like double. Yeah, guys. It might be later after dinner. We shall see. The sun is starting to go down. I have half my hair up, ready to do my hair. I have picked out a dress to wear for tonight. And I still have about 5 more inches of body to do on my sweater. Actually, it might be a little bit more than that. I think that when I measured it a few rounds earlier, I had about 44 stitches or 44 rounds still to do. 44 stitches, that'd be awesome if I had that. But about 44 rounds still left to do. I think that's including the edging. So this is exciting. I'm pretty close. I am to the point where I am like actually ready for it to be done. Maybe because I've binged so hard and then there's like a long period of time of the same thing to be doing on the body. I had to also start using my little knitting guide because the yarn is really rubbing a line into my finger. I mean, understood because I've only been doing it for 3 days now. I really think that it is attainable even after dinner for me to finish this sweater tonight. If not, I'm probably still not going to take it with me on my little weekend getaway. I'll probably just work on it when I get back and I'll work on a project then. And it's not like I'll get distracted and to where that I will forget what I'm doing when I pick it back up. The body area is an easy pick up and set down type thing. So I'm looking forward to almost being done. All right, I have done what I could do before going out on my Valentine's dinner date. It's been a long time since I've been dressed up. I don't have my shoes on yet, but I have about 4 more inches left on the body. Still doable tonight. Okay, I am tapping into the 4th hank. This is it. Hopefully this gets me 4 inches and the edging. No doubts it will. I keep forgetting to talk to y'all about this. You were probably wondering why I did the sleeves first and not the body like most normal people do, and that's why they call it Sleeve Island. But Stephanie always has this grand suggestion to do the sleeves first and then go to the body because there are less times that you have to turn the fabric for the body, so it's easier to manage than once you have the body, you have all the weight of that sweater and then you have to constantly turn the sleeve as you're going. But I also get to suffer from Body Island instead of Sleeve Island now. But I'm super close. Like I said, I think it's still attainable for tonight. Good morning, my beautiful sweater. Hello, hello. When I get to the end, or as in the final hank, I usually work straight off the Swift. That way, whatever is left, I can wind back up into the hank and add it to my stash. I have about 3 more inches left, so I don't believe this project will be going home with me. But look at that shaping right there. You notice this is where the chest is, the bust, and then it decreases into the waist, and then extends back out to the hip. And that is what you call gorgeous shaping. My friends, I am in love. We have not left yet, and we're gonna be gone for like 5 days, I just found out. So I'm kind of regretting not winding up this yarn and working straight from the Swift, because I still have 2 more inches left. At the same time, I feel like I only have 2 inches left. I'm not sure when we're going, so maybe I can still do it before I leave. Okay, so it has been several days since I have worked on this sweater, but I have finally finished the other travel projects that I took with me. And so I'm gonna finish these last couple inches and the edging, and it's gonna be done. Yeah, I'm still gonna consider it that I finished this sweater in like 3 or 4 days. I finished it, minus weaving in, the ends. Have y'all ever seen Skein Cocaine's, well, not just Skein Cocaine, the Yarn Therapist podcast? Free your ends. Know what I'm talking about. If not, go check her podcast out. The pants don't match, but it's all right. And I'm having a fun lady time now, so. This is so amazing. I know these sleeves still look a little shrunken, but when I block them, they're going to grow a lot. And somebody else in the group also mentioned that theirs grew a lot after they just blocked theirs. So I have a lot of confidence in that. But look at that edging. I'm so in love. It's really, really good, you guys. I'm so glad that I went with the full sweater, and I have yarn left. So I'm like, what am I gonna do with that yarn? I'll share my blocking with y'all tomorrow. Okay, so I just checked and I have a whopping 6 ends to weave in, which is not freaking bad. That's really awesome. I usually use a Russian join whenever I add a new skein of yarn, so that I avoid having to weave in more ends at the end. Anyway, I got those 6 ends to weave in, and then it's blocking time. She's going for a bath. I wanted to also show y'all what it is that I have been using. I am using this ukulele. There we go. It's not really focusing, but it's a no rinse delicate wash. If I don't have any like soak or this sort of fiber wash that is normal to use, if I'm out, then I will use dish soap. And it works just the same. You just soak it in the bowl for like 30 minutes or till however long that I'm not distracted and that I do remember. It's not like it's gonna be horrible for it to soak for extra time. And then I squeeze as much water out as possible, and then I'll take a towel and roll it in it and stomp it out. And then I, on this particular garment, I'm just gonna lay it out flat. I don't even wanna bother with pinning it because I don't really want I think once it gets its soak and gets the stitches to relax, it's gonna be perfect size for me. I really don't want to stretch it and grow it any more than it will. I think even then, the weight of the water will still expand this lace. So yeah, I will show you all a picture of what it looks like when I lay it out flat to dry, and then I will take you on the journey to photograph it. Okay, so I decided that I didn't want to leave you without the great feeling and view of sticking the item in the sudsy water. It's truly the best feeling when you're doing it, because you know this is about to be a finished object and you're about to enjoy it in its full potential. These wet blocks are like the most important, and it's really what gives your item the best look. And after you spend all that time on it, you might as well finish it off and do it right. By the way, this water that you add in it, you want to make sure is like room temperature, because especially with hand-dyed yarn, there usually is like a little bit of excess that's going to bleed out. And also with wool, you don't want to use super hot water because it will felt it. I'm just going to add a little bit more so that it's fully submerged. You also don't want to agitate the item too much, because you don't want to mess it up, yeah, in any way. So this is how I will leave it for a good bit. Also, a little bit goes a long way on this stuff. It has been smelling like wool in my house for like 2 days now. Well, this is the second day. I literally just got this on here yesterday, but usually it dries pretty quickly. I don't know if it's the weather or what. I feel like this is taking forever, but I am just loving the curves and shaping in this. And what's neat is that you can't even tell which side it was that I started the top. I mean, it looks like one pure round. The blocking did lengthen my sleeves, so it's like right with my body edge. I just want this to be dry so I can try it on. The seam did start to come around on the body, showing a little bit here, but it's still not like super visible. And I made the full length, so that's why the body started to go that direction, because at a certain point you don't really turn as much as up here. I can't stop petting it. It's just so cool, you guys. I love those. And I love these. And it's so cool to get lost in those stitches.
I had all intentions of taking a picture in this top at a tulip garden, but I am meeting up with some friends, so I decided to take pictures with this amazing mural at this coffee shop that I know was here. So I pretty much did it with that rainbow right there. I got some money shots with it. Sorry I didn't hop on here before I got ready this morning. It was a long night of racing last night, and as you can tell, I don't have my voice. And yeah, so I used this handy dandy tripod, and it was awesome. And you don't always know what's behind too. Maybe I should take a picture with the like construction zone. I might try that later, but I'm ready to go see my friends. Sun that this is getting. I'm so glad that I took a picture like this morning when the sun was glowing so perfectly. But I should have done it with these animals. They're so cute. This is why you don't want to take pictures like right in the heat of the sun. The shadow of this light is reflecting on that. In case you were wondering who did this art, it's gorgeous. And I am the gold at the end of the rainbow. Sometimes it takes a lot of walking around to find like really good locations. Like look at this building right here. That's gonna be beautiful artwork and it's kind of in a shady area, so I'm not gonna be like squinting or having really bad shadows. This is perfect. And it really complements, like the butterfly complements me. It is like exactly midday, right around noon, so I still didn't like the pictures that I got from that. Like, it's just hard to work with the natural lighting when the light is the highest in the sky. So you really want to do it like earlier in the day or later in the evening. Those are the best times. Okay, I decided to take a pit stop on the way home. And I'm in like the ritzy area of Dallas where like all the like real housewives of whatever are. And you guys, it's amazing. I'm gonna have to take a picture on that little scooter thingy. There's supposed to be like big teddy bear statues around here. This is a gorgeous park with a bunch of beautiful, colorful trees. So should be a lot of photo ops. And I'm not usually in the Dallas area, so this will be good. I think that I could spend all day on this trail. There is so much beauty here. If you're in Dallas, look up teddy bear statues in Lakeside, I believe, or Lakewood, in Lakewood. And come see the beauty. With it being Saturday, there's like a lot of people out here taking pictures, so it's kind of hard, but I did get some nice shots. Nothing compares to that rainbow though. you.